We keep saying football is one sport that does not distinguish any caste, religion, rich, poor. I think it's all about talent being a team. That's the kind of experience and the training and the facilities they were getting. So which I think is great because you need those kind of exposures. Play for India was something we were very. I was particularly very excited. So, in fact, I traveled all the way from Sikkim to right down to Kerala, which is Trivandrum. But money has to come in. I think money is one of the major factors for the sports to grow. It's definitely one of the key factors.
Hello everyone, you're watching SK Live. I'm your host, Indranil Basu. Today we have a very special guest, one of the biggest legends of Indian football, Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia. Welcome Bhaichung to the show. You're on
Thank you
SK
very
Live.
much.
Such a pleasure, having you. And, this is my first stint with SK Live, and getting a legend like you, I don't know if I can sleep tonight. So how was the lockdown? It must have been very tough for you, because I was told you were traveling from Calcutta to Siliguri, got stuck in Siliguri for a long time, and then you had to go to Bangkok after a lot of struggle.
Lockdown has been okay, but I think now it's getting a little too much because it's going on and on and on. In fact, I just traveled today from Siliguri to Kolkata, so I'm here with my kids and my family. So very happy to be here in Kolkata.
Last 2 decades, we are also seeing a lot of international tours of the different junior teams and Indian team going out and playing in different countries. That has also helped, right, to grow the way football is growing.
No, I think it's important for obviously Indians. If you're speaking of Indian teams, it's important for them to travel out, play matches outside India because you can't be playing all the time in India to really progress as a footballing nation. So good thing is I think a lot of underage teams in India today are getting so many matches. When we were preparing for under 17 World Cup, I think 2-3 years, I think Government of India, All India Football Federation, and the Sports Ministry completely supported. And these kids were almost 2-3 years living outside the country, having 40-50 matches with top teams across the world. That's the kind of experience and the training and the facilities they were getting. So which I think is great because you need those kind of exposures.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard stories that you guys had to, when you started off during your young days for India, used to wash your own clothes.
There was nothing else you could do. We had to travel by unreserved uh, train travel, which was getting into third class compartments because those days the challenge to get reservation in train even today as well is difficult, but those days were impossible.
Yeah.
And obviously federation wasn't that rich to provide us with the airfare and give us a good accommodation. We were all placed in Sai centers across different parts of the country, either in Bangalore Sai Center, Kolkata Sai Center, or in Punjab. So now obviously the national team does stay in good hotels, good training, which is obviously very good. For us, we did not really care on a lot of things, difficult things, but for us to just to play for India was something we were very. I was particularly very excited. So, in fact, I traveled all the way from Sikkim to right down to Kerala, which is Trivandrum, in a train which I did not have reservation as a 16-15-year-old boy with 3 days 3 night without even proper seat. I just traveled because the excitement and wanted to just play for the country was there. And you don't, I think when you really have that interest and love for the sport, then you really do anything. So that's how it happened.
And we used to hear about how a lot of footballers, especially from Calcutta, used to love having egg roll and chicken roll, and things have changed so much. They have become conscious right now. They don't have junk food. So a lot of development, has, a lot of changes have happened, right?
I think the younger generation of players are much more professional now. They're worried about their health. I think they really take care of their body. And that we can see it. I think, and it's a great move because with as I said, with world football coming on live on television and with social media, with digital platform coming in, I think you get a lot of information and you get a lot of support and help, and that's how I think this generation of players are very well equipped and are I think much more conscious about fitness, health, and being more professional.
You've obviously the biggest legend I have seen in last 3 decades in Indian football, and you have another player in making. You've seen him, building his career, Sunil Shetty. He's been doing so well as a captain. Your thoughts on Sunil?
I think he's done fantastically well. He's come in and given everything. And great thing about Sunil is I think he's a completely professional boy, and he takes care of his health. He's always working out. He does his extra training. And the best thing is he maintains his fitness and works and does look after his body very well. And that's very important. And now, if you see, at the age of 35 as well, he's strong and his fitness levels are as good as any 18-year-old boy. So that's I think that comes within from the player because you need to make sure that you're mentally prepared to work hard and make sure that you're keeping fitness, overall fitness, and at the same time having that hunger to continue playing in the top level with top performance, and that can only happen if you're ready to give everything on the ground and make sure that you're 110% fit.
So when ISL came, similar sentiments everyone had, all the football fans. So do you think ISL has been successful in getting things right in Indian football? Because after you rub your shoulders with a big ball.
I think it is contributed to the growth of Indian football definitely, and a tournament like ISL will always do good for Indian football because you're getting to watch first of all the Indian players playing regularly every week during ISL. You're getting some of the best coaches to train and coach the ISL teams, and also now infrastructure-wise, I think the ISL teams are also committed to give good, infrastructure. So I think the boys are training under good coaches, good environment, good infrastructure, and getting to compete with a lot of good footballers, foreign players, and that's definitely helped. I feel that especially when I watch. Indian team play. I think Indian players are playing with a lot of confidence. I think tactically they are quite aware of the tactical positions, and the shape of the team. So I think that psychologically, I think they're more confident now. Whenever they play outside India as well.
Money. We get that feeling once in a while that money is a huge driving force for sports in India. For players, like players of your generation, you played the sport because you loved it. You traveled in without reservation from eastern part of the country to Kerala. So there was a lot of passion involved in that. But right now, the thought is that there's a lot of money-driven this thing in Indian sport. Do you think it's the right culture?
No, I think it's important that money has to come in. I think money is one of the major factors for the sports to grow. It's definitely one of the key factors. And for players, obviously, if you're playing for a national team and playing for top clubs, I think they definitely want to make sure that their lives are secured and they can focus completely on football. So I think it is important, but it should also not get into the players' head so much that everything is just money and nothing else. So I think that balance is very important for them to bring in. Obviously, money is one of the factors that the kids and people in India would want your children to play that sport, because if you can make a good living playing the sport and there's a future to it, then you get that support as well. So it does make a difference. And if you own a club and I have good support financially from a corporate, it makes things much easier in terms of building my infrastructure, getting my grassroots organized. So those are factors that makes a good difference. But for players, I can only advise is it's important. Money is a factor, but don't make money as everything.
Yeah,
Your game, I think at the end of the day, you need to play from your heart and you need to really love it. So
absolutely.
if you're getting 10 crores and you're not enjoying the game and you're just playing for the sake of it, then I think it's a very short career you're going to have.
Another football legend. I am Vijayan used to say that your God's gift to India in football. So your thoughts on it?
I think that's just
That's a
nice gesture from him, because I think he's just such a wonderful human being, and I think that's where we keep saying football is one sport that does not distinguish any caste, religion, rich, poor. I think it's all about talent, being a team. And for me, when I grew up, I am Bijayan was one of the biggest idol I would look up to, because when I was doing my under 16 India camp in
yeah, yeah,
Kolkata, Bijayan was, in fact, in under 23 camp. They were also training for some tournament. And that's where we, as under 16 players, used to watch them and, just admire. And from those days itself, he was such a humble guy, talking to all younger players. And slowly, obviously, I got to know about his personal life as well, how difficult and how challenging his family background he had come from, selling soda bottles on matches in Kerala. And that is
very
something
good.
I think, football does not distinguish. It's about talent. And for me, he was my role model. Despite whatever difficult challenges he was, I would look up to him as a footballer. And I think that's what sports brings, unites and inspires people. Does not really distinguish any, you know, caste, creed, culture, rich, poor, anything. It's just that. So for me, I think he's been one of the most inspirational footballer for India and for me.
You know, do we intend to see Bhaichung Bhutia as the AIFF boss one day, like Saurav Ganguly is right now? He's 47. You're not 47, but
No, I'm
Saurav is,
not 47.
Saurav is
I'm way
47.
below that.
And he's a BCCI president. And it's a great pride for a lot of the journalists, a lot of cricketers I speak to, and when they see Saurav, and there's a talk that he might go to ICC, and they're just free. I mean, just enjoying the fact that a cricketer is taking over the administration. When will India see Bhaichung Bhutia taking over football?
See, I think it's easier for Saurabh to be a president of cricket because he has the entire support system, he has that finances, and it's easier. And in India, it's cricket influences a lot of political decisions, and you can reach to
I
the
know.
highest authority to make a lot of things for it. But for a game like football, I think still it's not a recognized sport all across India. It's still a game which is growing. And to get sponsorship, to get your things done in the highest level as well, makes it very, very difficult. So it's going to be a tough, challenging position. That's the reason why a lot of the federations, apart from cricket, is only got mostly influential politicians in that job, because they use their influence in a lot of things to
Yeah,
get things done, and that's how
yeah,
India works,
yeah.
sadly. And we need them. We need politicians, obviously, in federations, is because their networking, their power,
Yes,
and
yes,
to make
yes.
and to take decisions in the highest level with the government of India is there, and that's why it makes it easy for
But you can't
federations to
stay there
run.
forever.
What's
I'm
that?
saying you can't stay there forever. I mean,
you,
they make
you
that position.
can't stay, but once one of them goes, then you'll have another fellow coming in anyway, because
Yeah,
that influential big political power is going to come in anyway. So, and for sports like football and a bit of hockey and other things, you do require politicians. Yes, I would love to be one day be president of All India Football Federation. It's not that I'm
all the
dying
best
to
for
be,
that.
or I would do anything to be. It's
Yeah,
something which is something I would, if there is an opportunity in future, I would definitely consider it. I
yeah,
might not be ready right now, but in future I could consider it. But for that, I think you also need a set of teams that can really help you and uh, and take it forward, because it's very, very challenging. And at the end of the day, it's politics again, because the federation post does come out with the voting thing.
Your favorite club in India and your favorite club away from India.
My favorite club in India obviously is East Bengal and United
Oh,
Sikkim. And outside India, I do obviously, I've been supporting Arsenal, and I have obviously been fan from Dennis Bergkamp days. So that's why it's I've been connected with Arsenal from those eras. So right now also I do support Arsenal.
and it's a celebration, and thanks a lot for taking your time out. You've come home after such a long time to be able to respond to Sportskeeda at short notice and come on a show like this. Really means a lot to us. And all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you very soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
that.
Bhaichung.
Thank you.
Thank you.